Hi everyone, this is Cindy, Create the Heart, and today I am so happy and excited to share with you the Not Too Shabby Shop Stamp and Die of the Month. It is this adorable Oh My Stars stamp set, and there's also a matching die. It is really, really cute. Today, the design team is doing a blog hop, so you can hop along and you can see all the different ways that you can use this really cute stamp set. The bear in the die actually cuts the little arms so the little bear can hold things. So it's really adorable. I am going to have the bear holding something in my project today. So today we are making a surprise slider card. And we're not going to be using any fancy dies. You actually could do this without making using any dies at all. I am using this rectangle nestabilities from Spellbinders that I've had forever. But you can use any die that you'd want, or you can even slide this in and use your paper trimmer. And I have lots of rectangle dies, but that's the one that I decided to go with. So the A2 size card is what we're going to be using. The red piece measures 5 1/8 by 3 1/4. And then we have the white slider piece that you're going to see in a second, and that one actually measures 3 3/4 by 5. And so the front of that, you can see I use that fireworks stamp. And so there's that white piece, and again that one measures 3 3/4 by 5. And just ignore the stamp at the bottom because I was testing something out, and actually that's going to actually be covered up. So this rectangle, the inside measures 4 3/4 by 2 1/4, and of course you could use whatever size that you have. And so what you do is you just place it on the front of that red piece, and then you slide it through your die cut machine, but you just don't cut it all the way through. So you just slide it all the way up near the top, and then once you get to the top, you slide it back out again. And then that way you get a partial die cut. And so that's pretty easy to do. And if you want, you can take your circle hole punch and you can go ahead and you can punch out a little groove at the top, but that's just a style issue. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and get your scoreboard out, and you're going to score it right there at that top all the way across, so that that top score line is there. It matches the top. And then about halfway, so you kind of decide what the halfway mark is. I think I decided it was about 2-ish, 2 1/4-ish, and maybe 2 1/2. I think it was 2 1/2. And then you just go ahead and score that. I mean, you can measure and be exact, but that looks about half. And then if you find that your piece didn't, cut all the way to that top score line, you can go ahead and just take your scissors and go ahead and make that cut so that it gives you a clean cut. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to fold this red piece. So the top score line is folded away from you, and then that middle one is folded towards you. And that's going to give you that slider. And then at the very bottom of that piece, you can see I put a piece of score tape. And so we're almost getting ready here. And so this will fit right in there. And what's going to happen is I am going to kind of measure and make sure everything is the way that it is. So what I did was I put that white piece in there, and then I kind of opened up that sliding piece, and I kind of marked it so that that bottom piece has little pencil marks that tell me where it's going to attach and what part I can maybe cut off a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut little squares off of, actually I'm going to slice a little bit out of the bottom, it's a little bit long, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slice little corners out of it, and then that way that bottom piece will be the same size as the piece I've put the score tape. So you just basically do what I did here, and you take a little pencil and you mark that and you cut like a little square off of the bottom, and then you can kind of put it in there, and you may have to cut a little bit more. This is a piece that's not going to be seen at all, and this is really just to help your sliding piece slide a little bit cleaner. That's all that is. And so I noticed I needed to trim, I think, just a little bit more off of there, just because I want it to slide really cleanly. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure it measures up. And once I'm happy with how that fits, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my score tape and I'm going to attach that bottom white piece to my scored piece there at the bottom, my score tape piece. And I'm just kind of sliding a little bit of that, trimming a little bit of that, because I just want to give myself more room on that red piece to put my foam tape. So that's all that is. So I'm going to slide that piece down, taking the score tape off. And now I'm just going to attach that piece to the bottom. And then that way you can see I just cut enough there so that that bottom piece just fits on there perfectly. And now when I pull it up, you can see that the sliding mechanism is working. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put foam tape on that red piece on the two sides and the bottom. And so I want to make sure that I kind of cut my foam tape thin enough, skinny enough, so that it's not touching that white slider piece. We don't want to impede the progress of that. So I am using my Ulta New tape. I went ahead and I put the foam all the way around. And then on my A2 size card, I had placed that piece on top and figured out, I mean, you can even make little lines with pencil, where my slider piece is going to fit on the card and where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Because you want to make sure when you slide it up that you can see the sentiment there. So that was stamped directly onto the A2 card. Okay, so there's a sentiment there. And actually I had enough room to actually place that red piece all the way to the bottom, and we'll still, when you pull that up, still be able to see the sentiment. So just kind of figuring out where I'm going to place everything and making sure wherever I placed it, I can see the sentiment when I pull up that white slider piece. So now I'm going to go ahead and take all of this foam off. And you can see I had to kind of cut it a little skinny. And then once all of the foam is pulled off, then I'm going to go ahead and place that right on my card. And press that down really well. And then when I pull it up, you can see the message there. So now it's just ready to decorate. And actually I kind of trimmed the top of that slider piece a bit so that it fits a little easier in an A2 size envelope. And so and I also put a little hole in that slider piece at the top, because I'm going to place a little piece of ribbon. So now it's time to decorate. And so I colored my pieces using Copics, and then I used the die to cut them out. And so I'm going to actually put my little bear right in the front there, and I'm going to use a little bit of foam tape. I just want to make sure that I don't do the foam tape too high. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put the little firecracker in his hand. And I'm going to glue the bottom of that, or the top of that firecracker, to the bear so that he's not slipping and sliding all over the place. And I'm using my Barely Arts glue. And once that's on there, then I'm going to go ahead and get some foam tape for my cute little bear. So I just want to make sure that I don't put it on his head, because that's the part that's going to kind of be poking on, poking up above that score line. And I just want to kind of strategically put my foam tape down. I'm also going to cut a little piece off that I'm going to use. As you can see, it's on my hand right there. I'm actually going to be using that for another part of my sentiment. So I'm going to cut the foam. I really recommend this Altenew foam. It's really great. It's got a low profile, and for the most part it's easy to take the liners off, and it cuts fairly easily too when you have to cut smaller pieces. So I use a lot of it. I buy it whenever it's on sale. So put that right there, and then you can see I have this hooray sentiment, and I actually stamped that in blue, so it kind of gives that whole red, white, and blue. And then this could easily be used for a birthday card, because you can do a birthday sentiment inside. So it says hooray, and before I pull that, I'm going to go ahead and cut a little piece of ribbon that I have in my stash. And so I'm going to kind of fold it in half, and then I slide that half through the hole, and then I bring the other tails through the loop there. And then that creates an easy way to pull that up. And so I pull on that, then you can see the surprise. Isn't that cute? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you make one of these. And I hope that you visit everyone on the hop.